This is the dawn of a new age. An age where the fate of nations will be forged in the fires of war. This is the age of reckoning.
Welcome to a new episode of Gamereactor TV. I'm here today with Thomas.
Because I don't know anything about MMOs and I need some questions to be explained.
About Warhammer Online, the latest MMO from Mythic Entertainment, who did, back in the day, they did Dark Age of Camelot. Probably the thing that they are mostly known for.
Cool.
So what do you want to know?
Everything, basically. What is the game? What does it do? Why are you playing it?
Well, mainly Warhammer Online. It's based on the old Games Workshop license, which is 25 years old. So if you have any ideas that they are ripping off World of Warcraft setting, you're wrong. It's the other way around. But it's mostly a PvP game, player versus player game. Whereas we have in, for example, World of Warcraft is mostly a PvE, player versus environment game. And Mythic has a long history of focusing on PvP, or what they call RVR, which is realm versus realm, since Dark Age of Camelot, basically, is a PvP game. So they're bringing that into a new generation, an entirely new game.
So is this a new kind of MMO, or is this just a game that's basically an expansion of Dark Age of Camelot with a new theme?
I'd say it's definitely a new MMO. It is an MMO. It's a good update to Dark Age of Camelot, to the PvP system that was back then. Because in Mythic's games, generally, you have two, or in Dark Age, you have three sides fighting against each other. And everything they do, everything you do in the game affects how it's going for your side, or your realm, as they call it. For example, in games like World of Warcraft, you have the battlegrounds, you have like Ultrak Valley and Arathi Basin. But every time you win a battle, everything resets.
Okay.
There's no difference. Next time you go into Arathi Basin, everything will be just the way it was last time you went in there. Nothing changes. In Mythic's games, and especially in Warhammer Online, every time you win a scenario, for example, which is their version of the battlegrounds, or every time you take a battle objective out in the world or a keep, you give victory points to your side, to your realm. If you get enough victory points or more victory points at the other side, you start to getting bonuses and you get an advantage over the other side. So there's a certain pride in helping your realm.
Feel a lot more like a team effort, right?
Yeah, that's the point of the game. The problem is that so far, it's kind of hard to feel that you're actually making a difference.
Okay.
But in Endgame, that's where everything starts. When you reach the max rank, which is 40, people will start to lay siege on the other side's capital cities. And that's probably where the real team effort will come into play.
Okay. So you say that when winning these battles you get bonuses and everything, and that's of course what you fight for. But how does this balance out? I mean, won't one team get all the bonuses? And
there's a big problem with Warhammer Online right now, because you have the two different sides. You have destruction, you have order. Destruction being chaos and dark elves, and order being the human empire and dwarves and elves. The problem is, in a game built this much around community, because you have to have community, you have to have a guild, you have to get organized. Destruction is much more popular. Right now, when we're filming this is a huge problem for Mythic.
Yeah.
Because Destruction have so many more players that every time I log in, for example, I'm going to check if there's a keep available that I can go and buy stuff at or train at. They're 90% of the time taken by Destruction because there's not enough order players to go there and take it back.
Okay.
And that's a huge problem on many servers. Just a couple of days ago, again when we're filming this, just a couple of days ago, the human capital, Altdorf, fell for the first time. And this is something that Mythic has said would take weeks after launch to happen. And it didn't. And it was supposed to take many days of constant fighting. It didn't. Mostly because Destruction had so many players and there were no order players to help defend the city. And that's a big problem. It's something that they will have to address very, very soon.
Have they made any sorts of attempts to do it, or are they just talking about it right now?
What they've said so far is everything will balance out sooner or later. Looking how it looks right now, with the destruction side being so much stronger, it doesn't look like it's going to even out. Because new players get in, they know that destruction is more popular, and they're probably going to go there because it's easier to play.
Okay, so besides these problems that are right now, how has your experience been? Because when you play as few MMOs as someone like me, the only thing you really hear about is, of course, World of Warcraft. And I know that you've been playing World of Warcraft beforehand, so how does the experiences compare, and what do you prefer right now?
The thing with comparing to World of Warcraft, a lot of people are comparing Warhammer to World of Warcraft. They look similar, they have similar systems, but I think you should make a difference between the two. Mostly because Warhammer is much more focused on PvP than World of Warcraft is. Warhammer is, the feel of playing the game is a lot different than playing World of Warcraft. The PvE is similar, doing quests, ordinary quests, going out, killing monsters, collecting things. All of that is very much alike to World of Warcraft, but it's the PvP dimension, the war effort that makes a difference. And the PvP is a lot better in Warhammer than it is in World of Warcraft.
How so?
Well, the World of Warcraft didn't have PvP from the start. It was something they added in at a later point. And they've been trying for the last 3 or 4 years to balance it, to make it fun, to make it work. And personally, I don't think they've succeeded 100% yet. And Warhammer is built from the ground up on the PvP experience. So already, directly from launch, the PvP in Warhammer is a lot better than it is in World of Warcraft.
Okay. So your overall experience with Warhammer has been really good?
Overall, yeah. There are problems. There's the destruction versus order population imbalance. That's a big problem. There are a lot of small glitches in the game that makes it, certain things that should be easy, makes it kind of annoying. They have something called public quest, which is, you just walk into an area, there's a quest going on, and you can partake it straight away. People are out-leveling that kind of, the lower level content quite fast. Yeah. So a lot of them are empty, or you're not able to complete them on your own. That's a problem as well. So there's a lot of things that they have to address to straighten the game out. But I think Warhammer could be the next big thing. It's a great game. I love it so far. The PvP experience for me, I've leveled a warrior priest now just through PvP, that I don't even have to go out and do ordinary quests. I'm having so much fun, so I'm going to keep playing this for a long time.
So you see this right now as the real competitor to Warcraft?
That's a difficult question. One analyst said that she thought that Warhammer Online was going to get somewhere around 250,000 active subscribers. I think they have a chance to rack up a lot more of that than that. I think they could easily grab 1 or 2 million within a year, because this is one of the greatest MMOs in a long time.
What did you end up giving it?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is, first of all, it's a great grade, but I couldn't bring myself to give it higher because of the problems they're having right now. The thing is, of course, everything might change. It's an MMO. In a year, I might give it 10 out of 10. I might give it 5 out of 10 because they can change so much. And most of us are far away from Endgame, and Endgame can change everything as well. So we'll see what happens. But 8 out of 10 is a great game. If you're looking for a new MMO or just looking to try a really good MMO, I think you really should give Warhammer Online a chance.